How old are you turning? How old are you turning? Yeah. Because I don't know either.
Hello everyone. First and foremost, I would like to start off by thanking God for allowing us to be here today to celebrate the life of our father, Antonio Aldan Cabrera. Also known as Tony, Tony B. Blue, Uncle Don, Tonsi, the OG from the Rats, District 3, Meow, Papa, Dad, and most of all, Pop. On behalf of my siblings and my family, we would also like to thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts for the love and support you've shown our family through this difficult time. Pop was born on May 5th, 1954 at Dr. Torres Hospital in Saipan, located in the Mariana Islands in the Pacific Ocean, to Jose Tenorio Cabrera and Maria Castro Aldan. He was the second born out of 12 siblings, but the eldest boy. He has 6 sisters and 5 brothers. There's Whitney, then Pop, Edward, Anna, Remedio, David, Regina, Josefa, Lourdes, Manuel, Raymond, and Bernard. He now joins his parents, his sister Anna, his brother David Emery, and his granddaughter Brianna in heaven with the Almighty God. Pop graduated from Marianas High School in 1972. He worked at Beneventi Refrigeration, and then he was a maintenance worker for the Grand Hotel in Saipan. Pop met our mom, Margarita, and they were married on May 26, 1976. They had 6 children. There's Wayne, Catherine, Anthony Jr., Christine, and the twins, Michael and Michelle. He has 3 daughter-in-laws, Misty, Nation, Gabby, and his 2 son-in-laws, Frank and Joe. Pop has 19 grandchildren. There's RJ, Priscilla, David, Anthony Jr., Tiani, Ariana, Alana, Aaliyah, Leilani, our angel Brianna, Tatiana, Dominic, Anthony, Aiden, Michaela, Joseph, Viviana, Camrayan, and Penelope. His 2 granddaughter-in-laws are Aliana and Alyssa. He has 8 great-grandchildren, Jaden, Abriana, Aliana, Josiah, Andriel, Lonnie, Malachi, and baby Anthony. He also has so many nieces and nephews that were like his kids and his grandkids. Pop was an awesome dad, but he was an even better grandfather and great-grandfather. We moved to Linwood, California in 1980, where he worked with his father-in-law, Candido Diaz, and continued to obtain his engineering license. In 1987, we moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. He worked at Stardust and then worked for Dunes Hotel until they closed. He worked for Treasure Island since 1993 and retired from TI in 2017. His favorite color was, of course, blue. He loved Pepsi and Diet Coke. His favorite food was lobster, crab, and fish, especially if it was that they got from Saipan. His favorite candy was a Kit Kat bar, and he loved the original yellow bag of Lay's potato chips. He liked to collect his knickknacks like swords and ships and flags. He also loved watering the grass, and he definitely had a green thumb when it came to his plants. If anyone knew my dad, then you knew he loved to host family and friends and cook for them. I loved my dad's cooking, but his fried pork chops, fried chicken, tsukaki, barbecue, fried eggs and spam, and his chicken curry was the best. He could literally make a meal out of anything. That was one thing Pop did, was make sure he always had food on the stove for us. He loved to watch us eat, and he would ask us, "You people like the food?" And of course, my little brother Michael always had his mouth full, so Michelle would have to answer and say, "Yes, Dad, we love it." But my favorite dish was his chicken curry, because he would always let us stir the cornstarch and water mixture that he used to thicken that curry. As I got older, I would ask him for measurements, but his measurements were just a little bit, not too much. He could tell if anything needed seasoning just by the smell. I'm so thankful that he taught my brother-in-law, Frank, his recipes, and especially the spare rib marination. One funny story I will never forget is when Frank was new to the family, and we were having a gathering at Uncle Eddie's house. My dad made chesa, and chesa in English is like an appetizer. Now mind you, this is Frank's first time being around and having a few beers, so he doesn't know the custom of the chesa. Well, Frank made himself a plate of rice and piled his rice with all the calaguan and sashimi and he was eating it. My dad was like, Frankie, what you doing? You're not supposed to eat like that. You're not supposed to eat like that. That's the main course, Frank. That's appetizer to complement the beer. Don't you ever do that again. And I'll tell you what, he never did it again. My dad was like the king in our home. We had to make sure his clothes were ironed for work, make his coffee, make sure whatever our mom made for dinner was reheated for him to eat before he left for work. The house had to be clean, all the dishes washed before we went to bed. Our homework had to be done, and the grass had to be watered every night. On Saturdays, my brothers had to mow the grass and use a machete to edge the grass. Sorry. Use a machete to edge the grass. My brother Junior would ask my dad to buy an electric edger like every other neighbor, but he would say, no, this is the best edger you can have. My poor brothers always had blisters from that dang machete, especially the clanking on the metal on the concrete. But I'll tell you what again, we had the best looking yard on the block. And when it comes to ironing, my siblings and I, boy, we sure can crease up any kind of clothes. Michael and Junior are probably the best masseuses because they used to have to massage his legs for a half of a Kit Kat bar. Well, Mike and Junior, there's all those Kit Kat bars there. You guys can have all of those from Pop. Dad taught Wayne to be the man of the house when he wasn't home and taught him to cook for us. He always said Wayne was his favorite. Kathy was the queen and Michelle was the princess. They never had to do anything Pop told them to do. They would just give him a look and he would tell them, never mind, it's okay, I'll do it. My dad definitely spoiled Kathy and Michelle the most. It's not a secret that they always thought they were his favorite, but I have proof that I was the favorite. Poochie, RJ, Tati, and Aiden, you guys can keep going back and forth about who was Pop's favorite, but we all knew that it was Bree. And now they're dancing around in heaven together. Pop loved to hang out with his siblings on his days off. I would call him and ask what he was doing, and he would say, oh, we're just going to get clam chowder with Uncle Eddie in San Pedro. Or he would say, we're going to go get ice cream in Arizona. He loved those one-day trips with his brothers and sisters. We all knew Pop's extracurricular activities was working on his red 1989 Camaro that was first Big Cat's, then Uncle Peter's, and then passed to him. He always loved to wash and wax that car on his days off. He would fix anyone's air condition that needed to be fixed, and if you couldn't pay him in cash, he took live chickens as payments. And of course, he loved playing the slot machine. That's not a secret. He always wanted to hit the jackpot and take care of us all. Well, Pop, now you've hit the biggest jackpot that you can ever hit, and that's to live in eternal life with God and all of our family up in heaven. We know you're going to watch over us and be our forever guardian angel. In June of 2017, we went on a trip to celebrate Pop's retirement, Father's Day, and Frank's birthday. It was one of the best trips we've ever been on. Pop enjoyed himself so much. He relaxed on the beach in Laguna with his grandkids and his great-grandkids and didn't have a worry in the world. Shortly after getting home, Pop suffered a massive stroke that left him on life support. We all came together as a family, and with the power of prayer, God gave him life again. We are also thankful to God for letting us have Pop for 5 more years. Even though he had paralysis on his right side, he still had his same humor and was the biggest jokester. He was doing well, and then the pandemic happened. That was the hardest time for our family, not being able to hug or kiss him and having to wave at him through the window. But he got through that like a champ. We are so thankful for the nurses at Marquis who helped take care of him, especially Jovi and Faye and AJ. They were definitely his favorite. We started to see a decline in Pop's health. Doctors and nurses told my sisters and I just to enjoy every minute we can with him. In October, my sister Kathy decided to bring Pop home. She set her house up to make Pop as comfortable as possible. We all knew he was happy to be home, and we knew he was tired. Pop literally had more than 9 lives. Every time we thought he was going to heaven, he would be fine again. He was such a strong man. We all know he didn't want to leave us, especially Kathy. My siblings and I will never forget this, told my dad one by one how much we loved him and how grateful we are to have a father like him. We told him we forgive him for anything he ever felt like he did wrong to us, and to please forgive us for anything he felt like we did wrong to him. and that if he's ready to go to heaven, we're going to be okay. But it wasn't until Kathy told him that she was okay, and if he was tired of fighting and ready to go to heaven, he could go. We started to see him decline more after that, and in my heart, I felt like that is what he was waiting for. The night of November 2nd, all my family was there with Pop. We sat around him and we were telling stories about him. We were singing and praying all the way up until he took his last breath. It was a sad but happy moment for us. Sad because we're not going to be able to hug him or laugh with him, but happy because he's not suffering or in any pain, and it's comforting knowing he's with God and free. I would like to say a special thank you to my sister Kat, my brother Frank, and all the Heath kids. Anaya, thank you for taking extra great care of Pop for his last month of life here on earth. Also, a special thank you to my stepdad Herbert for being so understanding and supportive with Pop, and for being okay with my mom not being home for the past month. Mom, without you, we couldn't have gotten through all of this. You are the rock to our family, and we are forever grateful for you. Pop loved you with all of his heart, and he knew he couldn't have chosen a better mother for his children. To all of our aunts and uncles and cousins, my siblings and I can't thank you enough for all you've done supporting us, cooking for us, and being our shoulders to cry on. Thank you to all our family that have traveled from all around the world to be here to celebrate Pop's life. Thank you to Palms Mortuary, to Bishop Pete for making this the most amazing celebration of life for our dad. We will never forget this, and we will forever be grateful. And in the words of Antonio Cabrera, you people not gonna lose with the Cabreras. Pop, we know you're here with us today. We can feel your presence. Thank you for loving us and always being there for us. Please continue to watch over us. We will miss you much. We will miss you so much. And we will always, we promise, keep your memory alive, Dad. Until we meet again, Pop. Goodbye to home. Thank you.
soul forever be blessed with the angels as the angels guide him home until we meet again.